Wait. Hassan, wait, may I sit down first. Wait, Hassan, wait. May I sit down.
So without much ado, I'm honored to address you today on behalf of the Office of the Vice President in our collective effort to confront the pressing issue of malnutrition in Nigeria, which remains crucial to enhancing human capital development, economic productivity, and national development. We recognize the efforts of the Accelerated Nutrition Results in Nigeria ANRIM project to promote innovative social and behavioral change communications by leveraging on the influence of faith leaders to improve knowledge, shift norms, and enhance positive practices around maternal, infant, and young child nutrition. His Excellency, the Vice President and Chairman of the National Council on Nutrition, Senator Kashim Shettima, is passionately committed to advancing initiatives that promote sustainable nutrition activities in our nation. Therefore, the upcoming high-level dialogue between the National Council on Nutrition and the faith leaders will provide a platform for strategic discussions and commitments towards sustainable nutrition investments for the benefit of all Nigerians. This event will bring together members of the National Council of Nutrition, state governors, ministers, development partners, and the highest apex bodies of faith and traditional institutions to establish effective and sustainable partnerships in nutrition advocacy and implementation. It represents a significant opportunity to align our efforts with the national agenda and the vision set forth by the Renewed Hope Agenda under the leadership of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This press briefing provides an opportunity for the media to gain insights and clarity on the upcoming one-day dialogue. We must remember that the fight against malnutrition is not just a task for government or organizations alone. It is a collective responsibility that requires the active participation of all segments of our society. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to the productive discussions and outcomes that will arise from this very, very important high-level dialogue. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please, I think he deserves a round of applause for this show of massive support. Thank you so much, sir. May I now invite the PMU of ARIN here in Nigeria, Dr. Ojo Alape Sholanke. Coincidentally, for the past 3-4 days, I've been on some media rounds with her, and the energy, vibrancy, and intellect she displays, I must say, is second to none. She has a deep grasp of what she's been asked to do. Doctor, thank you so much. It's now your turn to just brief us, please.
Knowing how it relates to growth, development, and economic prosperity of any nation. From the statistics available to Nigerian, about 37% of Nigerian children suffer from one form of chronic malnutrition, which is exemplified by stunting and stunting rate and micronutrient deficiencies. And this has been, also linked to the GDP of any nation. Nigeria loses close to about 11% of our GDP because of this critical loss of malnutrition. And it has been stated scientifically that the first 1,000 days of any child is important. And if we miss this window of opportunity to reach out to the vulnerable group of children that will really need these interventions that we're doing for malnutrition, we have lost quite a number of significant population that should contribute to Nigerians' GDP. And so this has formed the background on which the current administration is basing the efforts. And we'll realize that His Excellency, the Vice President, is the chairman of the National Council on Nutrition in Nigeria. He has the passion and he has the energy to drive and put issue of malnutrition on the national agenda. So the project, the Accelerated Nutrition Results in Nigeria, with the support from the World Bank, is partnering with the Office of the Vice President to push the agenda of nutrition. What do we do on ARIN project? we want to push the supply and the demand side to ensure that everyone that should benefit from our interventions gets to benefit from them. And the two basic components of this intervention has to do with provision of basic package of nutrition services at the community level through the non-state actors that are working with us to provide services to the people who truly need them at the community level. We gather data right from the community level on to the national level. We interrogate this data to be sure that we have people benefiting maximally. To date, we have had close to 18 million pregnant women and children benefiting from the services who are enrolled and have benefited maximally from this benefit. Again, the second component of our work is to generate demand through our work on the social and behavioral change communication through the mass media campaign. And the second one, the innovative work that we're doing with our faith leaders who we have worked together over the years to produce material so that standardized messages on maternal, infant, and young child nutrition are projected to the community. We recognize the faith leaders as the gatekeepers of our community. We understand that they have the respect of their subjects and the fellowship of the people who are the mosques and the churches that we have around. And we are leveraging on the influence that they have to reach out to the communities that we really need them to help us to reach out to. You will recall, gentlemen and ladies, that during the time of polio, Nigeria had to enlist the traditional leaders and the religious leaders to be able to push polio out of our shores. So it's on that note that we're working together with them this time around and to see how we can together work together on the issues of malnutrition. We have developed different materials with them, and one of the key points of this the summits that we're having of this dialogue is to launch, as His Excellency the Vice President will be launching some of these guidelines and materials that we have together developed with CAN and GNI and the leadership of other institutions that we have in Nigeria. I think I will take a breather from there and possibly allow my colleague to talk about the work they are doing with the faith leaders because they are leading that sector of the work.
Okay, let me just...
And, state-of-the-art approach to making sure that we institutionalize how we can address malnutrition, especially leveraging on their influence, like the NPM said, their spiritual influence and their moral influence. But this project is unique in that it took an evidence-based approach, and we definitely started by identifying the social norms, gender norms, religious norms that actually mitigate and prevent people from adopting these practices. And the faith leaders have been able to, on their own, reach over 6 million members of their congregation with messages that are building their self-efficacy for them to take action with respect to improved nutrition across the communities in Nigeria. Thank you.
Actors and leaders, because the implementation is actually happening at the state level, in our communities, in our local governments, where these services are delivered to pregnant women, lactating mothers, children of these pregnant women, as well as adolescent girls, and a lot of the vulnerable populations that we have across these locations. So for us, we have these services, and we feel that the stakeholders that we have, especially our faith actors, have a role to play in ensuring that the right messages reach this population group and they're able to create an enabling environment where they access and uptake the services. So we're working very closely with them, with our non-state actors, to ensure that the sermons that are delivered by our faith leaders reaches the population that are being served, and they use that, especially the scriptures, to ensure that the right messages that will lead to informed choices and informed decisions so that the maternal, infant, and young child nutrition practices are improved across these locations. So we're working very closely with them, and for us it's very apt because we believe with this initiative we'll have more coverage, we'll also have more people uptaking these services, especially in our health facilities and in the communities where these services are delivered. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's just to let us know again that we are enlisting the services of the factors to help us propagate the messages, the standardized messages, nutrition, education. So it is not really all about food everywhere. Food is still part of it. But what about, we have mentioned that the first 1,000 days of a child is very critical. We're talking here about, issue of exclusive breastfeeding, early initiation of breastfeeding. They have an opportunity. When they talk, we've interacted with them, we've worked together with them, and they can streamline that into their sermons. I can imagine that, okay, from the Bible, Holy Bible, and the holy books that we have around. I'll give an example of the Holy Bible and the passage in the Bible which says that we should desire the sincere milk of the Word of God. That means there's an element of nutrition inside the milk that the Bible is relating to, which is still the same thing for any human. And the first milk production, which is called the colostrum, is very important for the immunity and survival of the child. So these are the kind of messages that can be streamlined into their sermons. Apart from that, there are 10 key life events of probably marriages, and we've been working together with them. We have some of those evidences already. A pastor is joining two couples. He has an opportunity to let them know, oh, madam, when you're pregnant, you should attend antenatal care. Or when you have your child, you go for a naming ceremony as a pastor. Use that opportunity to let the mother know the importance of exclusive breastfeeding, complementary feeding, and these are the things that are in the manual that we have developed together with them. So these are the opportunities that we want to leverage on together with them on this aspect of our work.
The education. For example, when you tie access to food as necessarily panacea for nutrition, there are countries that are food secure, but are not nutritionally secure. You can have food, but is it the right food? India has achieved food security, but they still have nutrition issues. So, for example, I came across instances in 2020 where the statistics show that a state like Borno, even under the worst auspices of the Boko Haram Indies, were having better statistics in terms of nutrition than Jigawa, my own state, which is the most peaceful state in the country. What is responsible for that? It's not a question of availability of food, but the choice of food. If you have a carbohydrate-rich diet, all you do is eat yam tubers or maize or whatever, without necessarily mixing that to create a balance. Then you have issues of nutrition. And the idea is not to say that, what are the alternatives? There are available diet changes, inclusion of beans, inclusion of even readily available food like moringa can make or mar those efforts. So once we channel that communication using our traditional and faith leaders, we believe it will go down. There are no trust issues between people and our leaders. So the message coming from them, I think, will ring a louder bell than the government simply saying do this or do that. It's not about having access to food or having access to traditional protein sources like fish or meat. It's simply about utilizing what has been identified as having the capacity to achieve that balance. Simple addition of groundnut to your whatever. In Borno, for example, the diet of kunungyala and mixture of beans and wheat actually, I believe, was responsible for that balance, as opposed to a situation where you have a state that is the largest rice producer. So it's not a question of having availability of food, but rice alone does not make a nutritional balance. And now, of course, like she mentioned, the importance of the first 1,000 days. Breastfeeding, exclusive breastfeeding, can absolutely take a child out of that danger zone of growing up stunted, which is the most important thing. Once you cross that threshold, then it's not very likely that you will be another statistic 2 or 3 years down the line. So it's very, very important to identify what is important, form it into a message, and then, of course, have our readily available faith leaders who are always available for us. I mean, once you get the involvement of our faith leaders and traditional rulers, it makes a lot of difference. And we've seen it happen with vaccinations. A lot of the success recorded in polio were only available when we decided to dig deeper and get these people involved, because like I said, these are people that have the trust of the masses. You know, once the message comes from them, there are no trust issues. Government is there, you know, politicians come and go. You might have one political leader that is this way inclined. When he leaves, somebody comes with a different message. But these are permanent representatives of the people. They have the trust of the people, and we believe that carrying them on board would absolutely make the difference in disseminating the very, very important information that will enable people to make informed decisions about what they eat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.